Let's talk about the album Taking It to the Streets by the Doobie Brothers. Hi, welcome to Garage Geeks. So today I would like to talk to you about the album Taking It to the Streets by the Doobie Brothers. Now, I did review this album in my Friday night chat, and if you watch my Friday night chat, then you probably have heard everything that I'm going to say about the album. But here you'll get to hear clips of each of the songs. Now, this album is the Doobie Brothers' sixth studio album, and it was put out in 1976 when I was 8 years old. And I do remember this album, especially because of, I think, a two-part episode of What's Happening, where the cast goes to a Doobie Brothers concert, and one of the cast, Rerun, is recording the concert, and he gets caught. Now, what's really interesting about these episodes is they play full songs in that episode. And as a kid, I was bored with the songs, but having watched some of the clips on YouTube now, they're really quite fascinating. The concert covers both the current incarnation but also plays some of the older songs.
Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi, won't you keep on shining? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi, won't you keep on shining? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi, won't you keep on shining on me?
So the band leader, Tom Johnson, was having trouble, and he was diagnosed with stomach ulcers. They were getting ready. This was happening when they were touring. And so they were thinking of stopping the band. But one of the band members knew Michael McDonald, and he suggested that he could come in. Now, Michael McDonald at the time was living in a garage apartment, and he stepped in, and he was really surprised when they asked him to stay and go into the studio for this album. Now, I don't think I'd ever listened to this album in its entirety, and when I first heard this album, it seemed to be very disjointed, and I understood why later. This is one of those groups where it seems whoever writes the song gets to sing it. And so we're going to have 3 or 4 different vocalists. Whereas that does make for an interesting album. I think in this case, Michael McDonald's contributions are so different, and it's going to point to a new direction for the band, that you really do have a clash of styles. And when you listen to this album, you might think that Michael McDonald's songs are the best, but that's not true. His songs are really, really good, but the other songs in this album are also really good. So let's go ahead and break down the album. Side 1 has 4 songs, and side 2 has 5. So the first song on side 1 is called Wheels of Fortune. This song sounds very much like the older Doobie style, and that's because it was sung by Patrick Simmons and Tom Johnson. And it was also written by them with Jeff Baxter. And so this really does sound like something from their older style.
Winning, sometimes losing. As soon as it's here, it's gone. I'm so tired of losing.
It's actually a really nice song, and it's a good way to start the album. However, the second song is one of the big hits on the album, Taking It to the Streets, and this one was written by Michael McDonald. I don't think I need to say much about this song, but it's so radically different from track 1.
Telling me the things you're gonna do for me. I ain't blind and I don't like what I think I see. Taking it to the street. Taking it to the
Now for track 3, we go back again with a song written by Simmons and sung by Simmons. And this one's called the 8th Avenue Shuffle. So we end side 4 with a Michael McDonald song called Losing End. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't think this was a hit. So it was interesting to hear some Michael McDonald songs on this album that I didn't know.
I'm picking up my pride and I'll be on my way.
after having listened to the album a few times, Losing End isn't as catchy as, say, Taking It to the Streets, but it still really is a nice song and a nice way to end side one. Now, side two starts off with a song that it really took me a long time to warm up to. It just seemed so sappy. And when I was thinking of how Michael McDonald helped usher in the yacht rock sound, but this song sounds so yacht rock, but it wasn't written by McDonald. It was written by Simmons and Baxter, although Michael McDonald shares vocals with Simmons, it seems, for the first time. And what's also interesting is Maria Muldaur appears on this track.
She said, "I wanna take a ride." So I jumped right in beside her in Rio. I'm working for the man every day up in the city.
Track 6 is a real outlier because this one was written and sung by Tyrone Porter. This seems to be the only album where he does only song on the album where he does lead vocals.
So it came down to saying you haven't been playing for so long.
Of course, it does have a different sound and style. So the middle song on side 2, or the 7th track on the album, is It Keeps You Running. And of course, this was another hit for the Doobie Brothers, and it was penned by Michael McDonald and sung by him as well. This song is very catchy and repetitive, but it is a very nice sound, and you can totally hear the yacht rock sound in this song. So the 8th track, or the 4th track on side 2, the penultimate song, was written and sung by Tom Johnson. And again, this seems to be his only contribution to the album, and so it is very different in style than the other songs on the album.
Get on board, it's just the people like you and me. Ain't gonna fight them all.
And the final song on this album is very interesting because this one was jointly written by Simmons, Baxter, and McDonald. And it's called Carry Me Away. Let's go ahead and listen to a snippet of that. Now, I think the placement of the song is really interesting because we started side 1 with a song by one of the lead band member, and then we immediately go into Michael McDonald. But then at the end of this album, we have them working together, but because Michael McDonald is on this song, it's kind of like giving up the reins and knowing that the sound for the Doobie Brothers is changing for the band in the future. Now, looking ahead to the next Doobie Brothers album, there is no hits on that album. And if you would like me to review that album in any event, please let me know that in the comments. But back to this album. I would say that overall, this album is a solid 3.5 to 4 out of 5 stars. There are definite hits on this album, like Taking It to the Streets and It Keeps You Running. But the non-hit songs are, even though they're very different in style, one of the songs even sound, I had to check because I thought Hall & Oates was doing a guest appearance, an early sounding Hall & Oates. But it was just the fact that there are so many different styles on this album because so many of the group members were contributing to the writing and the vocals, that we get an album that's very disparate. And for that reason, it takes a little while to warm up to this album because you have so many different songwriters and styles. I think in the end, that's one of the things that makes this album kind of interesting because you do have this change. The Doobie Brothers have interesting song structures because they will usually have 2 or 3 different parts of their songs, and a couple songs on this album, they actually go into jams or instrumentals, and even though songs aren't very long, they do manage to have 2 or 3 distinct parts to the songs that keep the songs interesting. I'm really glad that I took the time to listen to this album multiple times and to form an opinion on it. I would say that many people disparage yacht rock and maybe this album by the Doobie Brothers because maybe it's the start of that sound. But Michael McDonald is a very talented singer and songwriter. Joining up with the Doobies at this time really made a lasting impact on music. I don't think that you should ignore this album. I think that this album should be listened to because it's a lot of fun. As always, if you found merit in this video, would you please go ahead and click the like, and always your comments are greatly appreciated. Again, I would like to thank all of you for the support.